Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Abraham Lincoln penny coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're going to explore one of the most interesting and surprisingly valuable coins from the United States, the 1973 1-cent coin. This might seem like just another penny in your collection, but trust me, it's far from ordinary. If you've ever wondered about the backstory of this coin, its design, its historical significance, and what could make it worth thousands of dollars, stay tuned. We're diving deep into the world of rare pennies and uncovering why this small coin could be a massive treasure. The 1973 1-cent coin is a significant piece in the history of American currency, and while it might not stand out at first glance, it's tied to a fascinating era in U.S. history. To understand the importance of this coin, we need to take a step back and look at the context of its creation. The 1970s were a period of transformation for America. The country was still recovering from the turbulence of the 1960s, which included political unrest, the Vietnam War, and a rapidly changing social landscape. In 1973, the country was experiencing major shifts in both its economic and political environments. It was a time of rising inflation, the oil crisis, and global economic challenges. Amidst all this, the U.S. Mint was hard at work producing coins that would carry the weight of this unique era, including the 1-cent coin. The 1973 penny has a rich story, one that goes beyond its simple appearance. To truly appreciate its significance, we must dive into the design and features that make this coin so intriguing. The obverse side of the 1973 1-cent coin features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, created by the renowned sculptor Victor David Brenner. This iconic image of Lincoln, one of the most revered presidents in American history, has graced the penny since 1909. It's a symbol of leadership, freedom, and the enduring values that Lincoln represented during his time in office. What makes the 1973 penny stand out, though, is the reverse side, which features the familiar Lincoln Memorial. The Lincoln Memorial has been the centerpiece of the reverse side of the penny since 1959, symbolizing the nation's respect for Lincoln's legacy and the ideals of democracy. The image on the reverse side of the 1973 penny was designed by Frank Gasparo, the chief engraver of the United States Mint at the time. The detailed depiction of the memorial, with its iconic columns and the statue of Lincoln, captures the grandeur and strength of the nation's history. The 1973 penny, like many other coins of its time, was minted in large quantities, but it holds a special place for collectors due to certain details. In terms of composition, the 1973 penny was struck primarily in copper, with 95% copper and 5% zinc. The copper content is one of the key elements that give the coin its distinctive appearance and weight. Over time, however, the copper pennies have become increasingly sought after by collectors, as the U.S. Mint transitioned to a different composition for the penny in 1982, using primarily zinc with a copper coating. While the 1973 penny was mass-produced and widely circulated, it's the condition of the coin that makes all the difference in its value. Like any rare collectible, the state of preservation plays a huge role in determining how much a coin is worth. Coins that have been in circulation for decades often show signs of wear and tear. Scratches, discoloration, and other imperfections can decrease their value. However, if you're lucky enough to find a 1973 penny that has been preserved in near-perfect condition, you could be holding a coin that is worth far more than its face value. In fact, there's a fascinating trend in the world of numismatics. Coins in mint state, those that have never been circulated and remain in pristine condition, are worth much more than their more worn counterparts. And this is where the story of the 1973 penny gets really interesting. While a typical 1973 penny in circulated condition may only be worth its face value of 1 cent, a coin in excellent condition, especially one that has been professionally graded, can fetch an impressive price. But that's not all. Some collectors are on the lookout for specific variations, such as certain mint marks, unique die varieties, or errors that occurred during the minting process. One of the most sought-after features for collectors is the presence of a die crack or other minting errors, which can happen when the dies used to strike the coins wear out or become damaged. These types of errors are often considered highly collectible, and they can increase the coin's value dramatically. If you happen to find a 1973 penny with a rare minting error, you could have a much more valuable coin than you realize. Now, we get to the most exciting part: how much could your 1973 penny actually be worth today? If you happen to come across a 1973 1-cent coin that is in pristine, uncirculated condition, or if you have one with a rare minting error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. While most 1973 pennies in circulated condition are worth only a few cents, those in mint state or with unique characteristics can reach incredible prices at auction. The most remarkable 1973 pennies, those with exceptional quality or rare errors, have been known to sell for up to $57,000. Yes, you read that correctly, $57,000 for a single 1-cent coin. It's hard to believe that a coin with such humble beginnings could hold such significant value, but the world of coin collecting is full of surprises. This incredible price is a testament to the rarity and demand for these coins in perfect condition or with unique features. So, if you have a 1973 penny in your collection, now is the time to take a closer look at its condition. Is it in excellent shape? Does it have any unusual features or potential errors? If so, you might be holding onto a coin that could make you a substantial profit. As always, it's a good idea to have your coin professionally graded by a reputable numismatic organization to determine its true value. In conclusion, the 1973 1-cent coin is much more than just a penny. It's a piece of American history, a collectible treasure, and potentially a very valuable coin, especially if you happen to find one in mint state or with a rare error. So, take a moment to dig through your coin collection and see if you have a hidden gem on your hands. Who knows, you could be sitting on a coin worth $57,000. Top 2, we're delving into one of the most fascinating coins from the United States, the 1971 1-cent coin. It might seem like just another penny in your collection, but this little piece of currency has a deeper story and, surprisingly, a much higher value than many would expect. Stick around as we uncover its history, its design, its minting process, and the potential fortune you could be sitting on without even realizing it. The story of the 1971 penny begins in a momentous time in American history. The early 1970s were a period of change, both socially and economically. The country was still grappling with the aftermath of the Vietnam War, and it was in the middle of the post-World War II economic boom. However, the U.S. was also facing challenges like rising inflation and economic instability. In the midst of these shifts, the U.S. Mint continued its job of producing coins that would carry the weight of this volatile period, including the 1-cent coin. The year 1971 holds special significance in the history of American currency. It was during this year that the United States moved forward with major decisions regarding its monetary system. The country was still on the gold standard, but the inflationary pressures were growing. For those who don't know, the gold standard is a system where a country's currency is directly linked to a specific amount of gold. But as the U.S. economy faced more challenges, including the end of the Bretton Woods system in 1971, it marked the beginning of a new era for the dollar. This also indirectly influenced the minting of coins, including the 1-cent coin. The 1971 1-cent coin has a striking design, featuring two prominent figures that are almost as iconic as the country itself, Abraham Lincoln and the Lincoln Memorial. Let's start with the obverse side of the coin. On the front of the penny, we see the well-known portrait of Abraham Lincoln, created by the sculptor Victor David Brenner. This image has graced the penny since its first introduction in 1909, making it one of the most recognized coin designs in the world. Lincoln's face on the penny is more than just a representation of a president. It symbolizes freedom, unity, and the spirit of perseverance. As the 16th President of the United States, Lincoln led the country through one of its most tumultuous periods, the Civil War. His leadership during that time helped preserve the Union, abolish slavery, and push the country toward a more just future. To this day, his image remains a powerful symbol of American ideals. On the reverse side of the 1971 penny, we see an image of the Lincoln Memorial. This symbol of democracy and national pride was designed by Frank Gasparo and has appeared on the reverse of the penny since 1959. The Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. stands as a tribute to the life and legacy of Abraham Lincoln, and the image on the coin captures the majesty of this iconic structure. The memorial's columns, the statue of Lincoln, and the overall design of the coin serve as a reminder of the enduring values that Lincoln championed. The 1971 1-cent coin is made of copper, just like many of the pennies minted during the 20th century. It consists of 95% copper and 5% zinc. The composition of the coin contributes to its weight, its distinct reddish-brown color, and the unique patina that develops on coins over time. Interestingly, the 1971 penny was one of the last to be made with this composition before the U.S. Mint began transitioning to a more cost-effective zinc and copper-plated composition in 1982. This makes the 1971 penny, along with other copper-based pennies from the era, especially attractive to collectors. While the 1971 penny was minted in large quantities and circulated widely, there's one critical factor that can dramatically impact its value: condition. As with any collectible, the state of preservation is everything. A penny that has been in circulation for decades is likely to show signs of wear, such as scratches, discoloration, or even dents. These imperfections lower the coin's value and make it less desirable to collectors. However, if you're fortunate enough to find a 1971 penny in uncirculated condition, or one that has been well preserved, you could have a hidden treasure on your hands. Coins that are in mint condition, or close to it, are far more valuable than their circulated counterparts. The grading system used by professional numismatists assigns a value based on factors like the coin's surface quality, luster, and any imperfections it may have. A penny in mint state could fetch hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars, depending on its rarity and appeal. Beyond simply being well preserved, the 1971 penny is also part of a fascinating era of U.S. coinage, which adds to its appeal for collectors. This penny was minted in large numbers, and because it was circulated so widely, most of the surviving examples are not in top condition. However, some collectors are always on the lookout for rare versions of these coins, whether it be through minting errors or subtle variations in design. For example, certain dies used in the minting process may have developed cracks or other inconsistencies, creating minor yet valuable variations that are highly sought after. Over time, some 1971 pennies have been found to have die cracks, doubling errors, or other peculiarities that set them apart from the standard issue. If you happen to find one of these rare variations in your collection, it could significantly increase the coin's value. Mint errors are especially desirable among collectors because they are unique and one-of-a-kind pieces, making them all the more valuable. As we approach the big reveal, you might be wondering, how much is the 1971 1-cent coin worth today? If you have a well-preserved, uncirculated 1971 penny, or if you have one with a rare minting error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. While most 1971 pennies in average condition are worth little more than their face value, coins in excellent condition or with unusual characteristics have been known to sell for far more. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the 1971 1-cent coin can fetch up to $59,000, especially if it is in pristine condition or has a rare minting error. Yes, you read that right, $59,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that a coin so humble in its design and value could be worth such a significant amount today, but in the world of coin collecting, rarity and condition are everything. If you have a 1971 penny in your collection, take a close look. It could be worth much more than you think. Make sure to get it professionally graded if you suspect it might be a rare find. Whether you're just starting your collection or you've been at it for years, discovering the value of a coin like this is part of the thrill. Top 3, we're exploring a very special piece of U.S. currency, the 1976 1-cent coin. At first glance, this may seem like just another penny, but don't be fooled. The 1976 penny holds much more than just its copper content. With its historical significance, distinctive design, and potential value, this coin is a true gem for any numismatist. If you're curious about what makes this particular penny stand out and how much it could be worth today, stick around until the end for the big reveal. You might just have a treasure on your hands. To understand the importance of the 1976 1-cent coin, we need to look back at the time it was minted. The United States was in the midst of celebrating its bicentennial, 200 years of independence. It was a year of great patriotic pride and reflection, as the country marked its milestone anniversary since declaring independence from Great Britain in 1776. As part of these celebrations, many coins, including the 1-cent piece, were redesigned to commemorate this historic event. The 1976 penny is tied directly to the bicentennial, and that connection makes it not just a coin, but a piece of living history. The 1976 1-cent coin is unique because it marks a moment when the U.S. Mint released special bicentennial designs on several denominations, including the quarter, half-dollar, and dollar coins. While the penny wasn't completely redesigned like the quarter or dollar coin, it did feature a slight modification in the reverse design. This change was introduced as a way to honor the bicentennial and is one of the main reasons this penny stands out among others minted in different years. The obverse of the 1976 1-cent coin still features the familiar and iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln has been the face of the penny since 1909, and his image is deeply ingrained in American history. As the 16th President of the United States, Lincoln led the nation through its Civil War and helped abolish slavery. His leadership and legacy have made him a national symbol of unity and freedom, and his likeness continues to grace the coin to this day. While the front of the coin remained the same, the reverse side is where the 1976 penny differs slightly from other years. Traditionally, the reverse side of the penny features the image of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., a symbol of the nation's respect and admiration for Lincoln's legacy. However, for the bicentennial year, the reverse side of the 1976 1-cent coin features a modified version of this design, with a large 1976 inscribed on it to mark the bicentennial celebration. It's a subtle change, but one that gives this penny a unique historical context. The coin's composition remained unchanged in 1976, with the penny being made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. This composition was consistent with most pennies minted before 1982, and it gives the coin its familiar weight and reddish-brown color. This copper-based coin is also significant because it was one of the last pennies struck with this particular alloy before the U.S. Mint switched to a new composition that used more zinc and a copper coating in 1982. The 1976 penny, like many coins, was struck in large quantities and circulated widely, but it's the condition of the coin that plays a crucial role in its value. As with all collectible coins, the better the condition, the higher the potential value. A penny that has been well circulated will have signs of wear, such as scratches, discoloration, and dings. These marks can reduce the value of the coin significantly. However, a 1976 penny that has been carefully preserved or even remains in mint condition can command a much higher price. A coin that is in mint state, meaning it has not been circulated and has been kept in pristine condition, can be worth a great deal more than one that shows signs of wear. Coins that have been professionally graded and certified by organizations like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, are highly sought after. These coins are given a grade based on their overall condition, and coins with higher grades are often sold for higher prices at auction. One of the things that sets the 1976 penny apart from other pennies is the historical significance tied to the year. The 1976 bicentennial celebration sparked a wave of interest in coins with special designs and commemorations, making any coin from that year more desirable to collectors. For the 1976 1-cent coin, this demand for bicentennial-themed coins means that well-preserved examples could fetch a premium price in the marketplace. As we continue our exploration, it's important to note that certain variations of the 1976 penny could increase the value even further. Just like with other coins, errors can occur during the minting process, and these errors often lead to increased interest from collectors. For example, if a 1976 penny features an unusual die crack, doubling, or other noticeable minting flaws, it could make the coin significantly more valuable. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for coins with unique features, such as these minting errors, and they are willing to pay top dollar for a rare find. So, if you come across a 1976 penny with any unusual characteristics or a unique error, it's worth getting it professionally graded and assessed to determine its true value. Now, let's get to the part you've all been waiting for, the big reveal. How much could a 1976 1-cent coin be worth today? Well, the value of the 1976 penny can vary depending on its condition, rarity, and whether it has any unique characteristics or minting errors. However, if you have a 1976 penny that is in mint condition or one with a rare error, it could fetch a staggering price. A 1976 1-cent coin in top-tier condition, or one with a minting error, has been known to sell for as much as $53,000. Yes, you heard that right, $53,000 for a single penny. That's a remarkable amount for a coin that may seem like just another part of your collection. The value of these pennies can skyrocket based on their rarity, condition, and any unique features they possess. So, if you happen to find a 1976 penny in your collection, it's worth taking a closer look. Inspect it for any signs of wear or, even better, any potential minting errors. If it's in pristine condition, or if you spot a rare flaw, you could be holding onto a coin that could bring you a substantial profit. And as always, if you're unsure of the coin's value, consider having it graded by a professional numismatic organization to get an accurate assessment of its worth. In conclusion, the 1976 1-cent coin is much more than just a piece of currency. It's a small but significant part of American history. Whether it's the connection to the bicentennial celebrations or the possibility of a rare minting error, this penny is a must-have for serious collectors. And who knows, your 1976 penny could be worth $53,000 or more. Top 4, we're diving deep into a fascinating piece of American history, the 1981 cent coin. At first glance, this penny may seem just like any other, but there's more to this little piece of currency than meets the eye. In fact, if you dig a little deeper, you might be surprised at just how much value this coin could have in the world of numismatics. Stick around until the end as we uncover the history, design, and remarkable worth of this 1980 penny. The 1980 penny was minted during a time of economic challenge for the United States. The country was in the midst of a recession, with high inflation and unemployment rates. The early 1980s were a turbulent time, with the U.S. economy facing some significant hurdles. But in the world of coinage, this period marked a time of transition and continuity. Coins from the 1980s would go on to become crucial elements in the development of American currency, and the 1-cent piece was no exception. This penny, along with others minted during this era, is particularly interesting because of the shift in coin production that was underway. The United States Mint had already begun adjusting the composition of its coins in response to the rising costs of materials, including the gradual reduction of copper content in the penny. By 1982, the U.S. Mint would completely change the composition of the penny, making it less copper-heavy and more zinc-based. But in 1980, the penny still contained a healthy amount of copper, which makes the coin more interesting to collectors today. Now, let's talk about the design of the 1980 penny. Like many pennies before it, the 1981 cent coin features the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or front, of the coin. This design was created by Victor David Brenner, and it has been a staple of American currency since 1909. Brenner's portrait of Lincoln is one of the most recognizable images on U.S. coins, symbolizing the leadership and legacy of the 16th President of the United States. Abraham Lincoln's image on the penny is not just a tribute to his presidency, but also to the nation's ideals of unity, freedom, and perseverance. Lincoln's role in preserving the Union during the Civil War and his leadership in the abolition of slavery have cemented his place in American history. His image on the penny, therefore, represents much more than just a face on a coin. It symbolizes the enduring strength of the American spirit. Turning the coin over to the reverse side, we find the familiar depiction of the Lincoln Memorial. This iconic structure, which stands in Washington, D.C., is one of the most famous monuments in the United States. The reverse design of the penny was created by Frank Gasparo and was first introduced in 1959. The Lincoln Memorial is an enduring symbol of the nation's respect for Lincoln and the values he stood for. The reverse side of the 1980 penny is identical to the design that has been on the penny since 1959, with the memorial's columns and the statue of Lincoln serving as the centerpiece. The composition of the 1980 penny is an important aspect to consider, especially for those who are keen on coin collecting. As mentioned earlier, the 1980 penny was made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, which gives the coin its characteristic weight and reddish-brown hue. Copper-based pennies like the 1981 are often sought after by collectors because of their historical significance and their relative scarcity. After 1982, the penny's composition changed, and it became predominantly zinc with a copper coating, making the pre-1982 copper pennies more valuable to those who collect coins based on metal content. Another important factor that plays a huge role in the value of the 1981 cent coin is its condition. Like all coins, the state of preservation is key when it comes to determining its value. Pennies that have been well circulated over time tend to show signs of wear, including scratches, fading, and discoloration. However, coins that have been well preserved or remain in uncirculated condition can fetch much higher prices. The grading system used by professional coin grading services, such as the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation (NGC) or the Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS), is crucial for determining the value of coins in mint condition. Coins that are graded as mint state or proof are far more valuable than those in lower grades, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for these high-quality coins. So, if you happen to come across a 1980 penny that looks almost as good as the day it was minted, you could be holding a rare and valuable coin. In addition to its condition, another reason the 1981 cent coin is attractive to collectors is its historical context. This penny was produced during a time of economic uncertainty, and many coins from this period reflect the changing landscape of the U.S. economy. Collectors often look for coins from specific years to complete their sets or to mark particular events in history, and the 1980 penny fits that bill. For numismatists, this coin is a piece of a larger story, one that tells the tale of the challenges and changes of the early 1980s in the United States. As with many coins, the value of the 1980 penny can also be influenced by rare variants or minting errors. Some 1980 pennies may have minor design flaws, such as doubling or die cracks, that make them more valuable to collectors. These imperfections, though small, can dramatically increase the worth of the coin. If you come across a 1980 penny that has one of these rare features, it's worth taking the time to have it professionally assessed to see if it's worth more than a standard penny. Now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, the big reveal. How much is the 1981 cent coin worth today? If you have a 1980 penny in excellent, uncirculated condition, or if you happen to have a rare variant with a minting error, you could be looking at a coin worth as much as $47,000. Yes, you heard that right, $47,000 for a single penny. This incredible value is based on the rarity of high-quality coins and those with unique features that collectors covet. So, if you have a 1981 cent coin in your collection, don't just toss it aside. Take a moment to inspect it for signs of wear or any unique characteristics that could make it more valuable. If you think you have a coin that might be worth something, get it professionally graded to determine its true value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, finding a rare or valuable coin can be an exciting and rewarding experience. Top 5 and last penny, we're diving into an intriguing piece of American history, the 1978 1-cent coin. This seemingly ordinary penny might not look like much at first glance, but there's so much more to this coin than you might expect. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting to dip your toes into the world of numismatics, this 1978 penny has a fascinating backstory and a potential value that will surprise you. Stick around until the end of this video, because we'll be revealing just how much this little penny could be worth today. The year 1978 was a pivotal time in the United States. The country was recovering from the economic turmoil of the 1970s, including the energy crisis and the aftermath of the Vietnam War. The economy was in a state of transition, with inflation rates still high and unemployment numbers fluctuating. But in the midst of all this, the U.S. Mint continued its important job of producing currency. The 1978 penny was part of this ongoing effort and represents a small but significant part of American coinage during this era. By the time the 1978 1-cent coin was struck, the design had remained largely the same for decades. The obverse of the penny still featured the profile of Abraham Lincoln, created by the talented sculptor Victor David Brenner. Lincoln has graced the face of the penny since 1909, and his image is deeply embedded in the fabric of American culture. His legacy as the 16th President of the United States, his leadership during the Civil War, and his efforts to abolish slavery have made him a symbol of freedom, unity, and perseverance. The 1978 penny is part of a long tradition of Lincoln pennies, each one telling a story of the country's progress and challenges. While many coins feature symbolic figures or images tied to certain events in history, the Lincoln penny is unique in that it honors an individual, a man whose leadership has shaped the nation's ideals for generations. The image of Lincoln on the obverse of the 1978 penny is not just a portrait, it's a reminder of the values that continue to define the United States. On the reverse side of the 1978 1-cent coin, you'll find the familiar image of the Lincoln Memorial. This iconic structure in Washington, D.C. was designed by architect Henry Bacon and stands as a tribute to Lincoln's life and work. The reverse design of the penny has been unchanged since 1959 and continues to serve as a reminder of Lincoln's enduring influence. The Lincoln Memorial is a symbol of the nation's respect and admiration for its greatest president, and it has become an integral part of American numismatics. In terms of its composition, the 1978 penny was made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. This was the standard for most pennies of the time, and it gave the coin a solid, weighty feel. The rich, reddish-brown color of the penny was a hallmark of the copper-based composition, and it made the coin easily recognizable among the other denominations in circulation. However, by the early 1980s, the rising cost of copper led to changes in the composition of the penny, making the 1978 version of the coin even more historically significant to collectors. As with all coins, the condition of the 1978 penny plays a critical role in determining its value. Most pennies from this era were widely circulated and have seen their fair share of wear and tear. These circulated coins are typically worth only their face value or a small premium if they are in better condition. However, if you happen to find a 1978 penny that has been well preserved or is in uncirculated condition, it could be worth far more than you might expect. A coin that has been carefully stored and protected from the elements, free from scratches and discoloration, is much more valuable to collectors. These coins are often graded by professional services such as the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. These organizations use a specific grading scale to assess the quality of a coin, and coins that receive higher grades are considered more valuable. A well-preserved 1978 penny that has been graded as mint state could fetch a significant price on the open market. Aside from the coin's condition, there are other factors that can contribute to its value. For example, minting errors are always a major draw for collectors. If your 1978 penny has a unique flaw, such as a double die, an off-center strike, or a misaligned image, it could be worth a lot more than you might think. Mint errors are often considered rare and are highly sought after by numismatists who specialize in error coins. If you're lucky enough to come across a 1978 penny with a minting error, it's definitely worth getting it professionally evaluated. The 1978 penny is also of interest to collectors because of its historical context. The 1970s were a time of significant change in the United States, both politically and economically. The country was in the midst of transitioning from the post-Vietnam War era to a new phase of economic growth. The 1978 penny, therefore, represents a snapshot of the country during a time of transformation, and many collectors are drawn to coins from this period because they provide a tangible connection to the past. But what makes the 1978 1-cent coin truly special in the world of coin collecting is its rarity in pristine condition. While many of these pennies were produced in large quantities and circulated widely, finding one in exceptional condition is becoming increasingly difficult. Coins that have been well preserved for decades are far rarer than those that have been in regular circulation, and as a result, they tend to command much higher prices in the collector's market. Now, let's get to the part you've all been waiting for, the big reveal. How much is the 1978 1-cent coin worth today? Well, it might surprise you to know that if you have a 1978 penny in uncirculated condition, or if you happen to have one with a rare minting error, it could be worth as much as $51,000. That's right, $51,000 for a single penny. While most 1978 pennies are worth just 1 cent, a well-preserved or error coin can fetch an impressive price among collectors. So, if you have a 1978 penny in your collection, take a closer look at its condition. Check for any signs of wear, and see if you can spot any unique features or minting errors. If your penny is in excellent condition, or if you found something unusual, consider having it professionally graded. It might just be worth more than you think. Thank you for joining us today as we explored the 1978 1-cent coin. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an exciting new discovery. Happy collecting, and we'll see you in the next video.